Hey everyone, this is Ryan Mallory for SharePlanner.com. Today is April 10th, 2013, and wow, what a day in the market. We have not seen something like this in quite some time. I would say this is probably the biggest move. I'd probably compare it to what we saw back in like late February when the market bounced off of its lows. This kind of a move is, and I'm assuming it's probably going to hold up throughout the day. It's trending nicely. Um, but yeah, this consolidation box. I mean, and I see this happen a lot too, where we consolidate and we break out initially, and you think that's it, that's the breakout. We're going to move higher from here, and then it comes back down. Even tested the low section of the consolidation level, gets people discouraged and saying, oh, it's a head fake. We're going lower now, and just gets people where they're flip flopping on their opinions of the market, and then all of a sudden, boom, you get this 20-point move in the markets, and the rest is history, really. I'd say that at this point, there's not much stopping it from hitting that magical 1600 level on the weekly. If you look at it, you do have some uh, headwinds that it just cleared over the course of today and in yesterday. But now we're just because we're sitting at all time highs. There's really nothing overhead to stop it. Just basically how far it wants to go before it creates its own new level of resistance. On the 5-minute chart here, you'll see that we have rallied significantly off of 14 or 1540. So since April 5th, and get this, I mean, that's a pretty heavy move. Since April 5th, this is the fourth day of trading, we have moved from 1540 all the way up to 1587. So we're like averaging well over 10 points a day during that time span. I would say we're starting to get probably a little bit extended on the 5-minute time frame, so a pullback over the next day or so wouldn't be all that shocking to me. 30-minute chart, it definitely looks a little bit parabolic there. So you got to be cognizant of that. I did add a position earlier today, so that could be at a higher risk for getting stopped out if this market does pull back. But we have some gains to play with on the swing trade portfolio. So if it and the tight is very tight that I'm using. I'm only using like 2% stop losses right now in the market. So looking for high reward, very low risk trades. One thing to be concerned about is the fact that we are about a half candle outside the upper Bollinger Band. We tried to do that last week and we failed, sold off. You can see it doesn't necessarily mean that because we are outside the upper Bollinger Band that we are going to sell off. Where I get really nervous is when we get like entire candle bodies outside the upper Bollinger Band. That's where you want to start getting nervous, like what we saw back here in September. Whole body of a candle outside the upper Bollinger Band, we sell off going from highs of 1474 all the way down to 1431. But outside of that, if it's just half bodies and stuff, I don't really concern myself. This move today is actually a good thing for the sake of the Bollinger Bands because it's going to actually start getting those bands to separate some and to actually start expanding, which will actually give down the road the markets more room to run as a result of that. So I'm not overly concerned about the Bollinger Band. The only way I'd probably get very concerned is if we started getting heavily outside of like a 3 standard dev. So let's go ahead and look at that just to make sure that's not taking place. Here you have it. So we're not outside of it, and then tomorrow this Bollinger Band is going to be much wider on the 3 dev. So the likelihood of us really pushing outside of that range is unlikely, and much more unlikely in the days ahead. But when you look at 3 standard devs, you can see that we don't really push outside of those. We don't push outside of that at all. So if we were to have like another huge surge tomorrow and we get outside of that, then that's something to be concerned with and start booking gains as fast as you can on individual stocks. But right now, no harm, no foul. Let's go ahead and look at some of the positions in the portfolio. Starting off with CRI, we're up about 2% right now on this trade. You can see that it had this nice cup and handle and it's just steadily moving higher. This stock, I got a stop loss at 58.48. Probably be a little bit more aggressive with that tomorrow. I'm not sure about it yet. I usually weigh my new stop losses after the market closes, unless we're getting a good move intra-market wise. But 58.71 might be an ideal place to move that stop loss to just secure even more profits on that trade. E&I pulled back, nice little consolidation level here at the previous breakout. Now it's moving for the fourth straight day higher. BWLD, this is the second go around this month that we've had in the stock. Huge day for it, hitting almost $90. Up about 2% right now in that stock, but this isn't a full-on breakout mode, so I want to see if this thing can get back to its old glory days of like $95, maybe even hit 100. I want to hold this one as long as I can. So in the days ahead, maybe moving the stop loss from 85.79 up to 86.42, or maybe even higher, maybe up to like $87 wouldn't be a bad thing at this point. MasterCard. We got on this one on the 8th of April, so 2 days ago. I liked it because it broke out of this box area here, and I'll draw that for you. And so once it broke out of that box area, it had a pullback, and then it rebroke out again today. So the expectation is that it'll continue to go higher. If we can get into that like 560s, 570s range, I might go ahead and start looking at booking gains at that point. ROK was yesterday's trade. Double bottom here on the charts, breaking out again today. It could have some trouble with the 50-day moving average, but history says that's not likely to be the case. So I'm still optimistic on that trade as well. And let's look at a few of the stocks that I'm looking at just from the standpoint of possibly going long on them. Monsanto, I've really liked this trade setup here, similar to the MasterCard setup where you have a breakout and then a pullback consolidation at just above the breakout level. That could be one we take a long position in as well in the days ahead. TRLA, this one's breaking out today. Looks really good, solid volume. You can see the volume is pouring in on it. So DISCK, kills me because I've been watching this one for days and it looked really good. This little bar right here spooked me a little bit. It stayed within the consolidation range, but I got a little bit nervous about wanting to add to the stock, because I basically would have had to put a stop loss in at a price I wasn't too crazy about. But I was at a point where I was sort of willing to do that because I did like that setup enough, and I was, with the mindset that I'll go ahead and tighten the stop loss as the opportunity arises for me to do so. But today, I mean, you get this 2% move on it. There's no reason to try and chase after it when you get that kind of a move. But textbook breakout. And then there's SSYS breaking out today. No position there, but the reason why I'm bringing this up is not to play Monday morning quarterback here, but if it can consolidate, maybe come back down to that 75 level. Let's not say 75. Let's say 76.50 or so. That would probably trigger a buy on my part. DG, similar to that E&I trade where you have a breakout and a pullback to that breakout level. I think that the stock action in it today is not all that great. It surged early on in this morning, and then it's just giving back those gains. But it's offering a great risk reward. I mean, you can probably get in at 50.30 right now, where it's trading at, and put a stop loss at 48.90 and be okay. And then EQIX, trying to break out here as well. A lot of consolidation here. You could say that's like a double bottom, triple bottom even. 1, 2, and 3 breaking out. This thing could easily hit 230, 240. So consider that one as well. that's going to do it for today. If you guys have any questions, feel free to drop me a line at ryan@sharepointer.com. I'm in the Splash Zone all day long as well, so feel free to subscribe or try our 7-day free trial offer, and hope to see you around. Thank you, and God bless.